With how long we've been talking about Nintendo Switch 2 on this channel, you and I, yes, you and the returning viewer that continues to click videos with Switch 2 in the title, this is finally the big one, and this is one of those videos that's almost conflicting to make a little bit, because it seems like we now have official leaked images of this console floating around out there, the full tech specs listed online, and this is something that has not come officially from Nintendo. And you probably know that we've talked about at length, once this thing goes into mass manufacturing, it's essentially a race between when Nintendo decides to reveal it and who is going to leak it from a factory first. And it does indeed seem like the factory leak has happened first, although there is a ton of smoke and rumors pointing to the idea of a reveal potentially happening as soon as this week. Nintendo of America's flying out a bunch of developers. That's confirmed by numerous sources. There's a lot of strange stuff going on in their announcement cadence. We did just get new NSO games last night. That was gonna be my video today until I woke up and saw this, but there is now a ton of Switch 2 information to unpack, and whether or not we get the official announcement for a reveal trailer today, airing as soon as tomorrow. And if you want to know kind of what happened with Switch 1 with all of this, they announced it the night before. So there is a world where literally tonight at like 8 p.m. Central Time, that would be 6 p.m. on the West Coast and 9 p.m. Eastern, that we get like a wake up tomorrow morning and watch the Switch 2 unveiling trailer with us. That is a possibility here, but this leak is massive. We have to get on the same page with everything that's been revealed. Before we do, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on your bell notification to join Sunbro Nation for the massive ride of Switch 2 news that we are apparently right around the corner from. And we have to first start off by hopping over to VGC, where they have corroborated this with their own sources, that this very much seems to be legit. And check out, we're not showing the images from VGC's article, but if you legit go find it, it's very easy to find if you want to look at this thing yourself online ahead of time. Alleged images of Nintendo's new Switch have appeared online. The image show a design featuring an 8-inch screen and magnetic Joy-Cons. Images, which appeared on Reddit but were originally sourced from a Chinese social media site, show a device with the larger 8-inch screen, magnetic Joy-Cons, and a USB-C port on both the top and bottom. While the images who are unverified, one source who has not seen the final Switch 2 console but has been briefed on Nintendo's plans told VGC that the Reddit images match what the company has told partners to expect from its design. VGC has asked Nintendo for comment on the story. They're not going to comment. According to today's images, Switch 2 will include 12 gigabytes of RAM compared to the 4 of the original Switch, support for HDMI 2.1, and 256 gigabytes of internal storage compared to 32, which matches an alleged shipping leak from earlier this year. While the design shown in the images shows similar controllers to the current Switch, there are some notable changes, such as the revised SLSR buttons and front-facing player LEDs. The images are also in line with earlier reports on Switch 2's design. Previously, publications including VGC reported that the Switch successor would include a larger 8-inch screen, and a Nintendo patent suggests that it would have been opting for a new magnetic attachment for its controllers. Now, to then kind of go through a high-level list of components here that have been leaked online tied to this manufacturing leak, you have this next summarized post from Nintendo Everything, which says rumored Switch 2 specs. You have the game console itself, left Joy-Con controller, right Joy-Con controller, the dock, a CPU GPU model GMLX3R-R-A1, the memory module, which does match up with the 12 gigabytes LPDDR5X 7500 MTs, the flash memory module, which is 256 gigabytes, audio chip module, NFC reader, which means that will be a thing. Amiibo are coming back, built-in microphone model. So this is interesting, something that you would be able to talk online to other friends. Maybe Nintendogs is coming back on this console. Dual cooling fans, video signal conversion, which is DisplayPort to HDMI technology, and support for HDMI 2.1. That means that 4K when docked is a thing. Network chip model, microphone chip model, video game protective case model, and speakers. This is a set of leaked information and images that line up perfectly with everything we've been more or less expecting for this console. But one thing I want to note is there are two small grains of salt that you might want to take with this story. One, this might not be the absolute finalized ship to market design, and you do have to remember that. Nintendo can make revisions of this thing if we are seeing an earlier prototype model render, and it might not look exactly like this when it is done. However, a lot of things line up with this console in the images if you go in and look at them. The other thing, while this could be a very hard to fake elaborate hoax, it does not appear that that's what's going on here. If you look at the sourcing on these images and everybody that is coming out to kind of corroborate this as legit, this does not seem seem to be one of those fake leaks, but you just have that 1% chance that somebody went through a ridiculous amount of work to fake this online, but it seems legit. You have actual pictures of the casing itself from a manufacturing plant. You look at how symmetrical everything is, just how hard this would be to fake. It would be very impressive to pull off, but it is the internet. It is 2024. You can never say anything for certain until Nintendo announces it themselves. And then in terms of some interesting things we've learned about the design with the magnetic Joy-Cons, it seems like there's not actually a rail system in place from what I can see online, which is kind of exciting. That means that literally those electromagnetic switches, mag switches like we were talking about, don't think about like fridge magnets. This is not something you're going to be able to easily detach from the console when it is secured magnetically, but rather when the electromagnetics are triggered, you're not going to be able to pull this thing apart. But whenever you hit the release button, which appears to be on the upper edge of the back of each of the Joy-Cons that come with this console, that is going to electromagnetically release them, and they're going to be easy to pull apart. That's all intact here. It is not clear from any of these images if the name of the console is Switch 2, but I then want to kind of dovetail this conversation into how likely it is that we're going to see a release, or reveal rather, right around the corner, because this leak makes it more likely, not that Nintendo's going to react to it and do anything early, but they knew this was going to happen at some point in time if they were entering mass manufacturing, and it doesn't necessarily mean that it's today or tomorrow, this week even, although I do think that that's still a very viable and likely option. It does mean we're learning about it in 2024. Nintendo's not going to sit on this through the whole holiday season, roll into next year, and have essentially verified images of this console floating around online for months and months without them officially communicating to their fans their own marketing plan for the console and what it does to us. That much is clear. So yes, some people will want to correlate this to a verified, guaranteed announcement happening today and then a trailer going up tomorrow. I certainly hope that's what happens. I think that would be the best move for Nintendo to do this. And it's also possible that that was the plan all along, and this leak is just very inopportune timing because Nintendo knew this was going to happen and they were planning it, but they didn't know exactly how many days it could be in mass manufacturing before a leak would eventually happen, and they're one day too late. Yes, that's a possibility as well, but even if it's not this week, the next week, which it would be strange to maybe do that in the same week that Echoes of Wisdom comes out and Tokyo Game Show is going on, there's going to be a lot more movement in the industry. This week makes way more sense than next week, but it could be next week. And past that, we might be looking at that early October reveal if we don't see it revealed this month. But these images appear to be legit. The Switch 2 is leaked online. Get ready. We are closer than ever for Nintendo's next-gen hardware. This is, of course, all very exciting info to me, but I want to hear from you guys at this point in the video. What do you make of these leaked images and new information online surrounding Switch 2? Do you think we're getting some kind of announcement and reveal as soon as today for some kind of first look at the trailer tomorrow, or maybe even a weird Friday instead? And do you believe that, yes, these are indeed legit images? I've seen enough and from enough verified sources online that I am definitely in that mindset, but do you think that this is all an elaborate hoax and maybe this hasn't actually legitimately leaked online? And finally, if you had to put your money on what is the most likely time that Nintendo will officially reveal this console to us, when do you think that is? Is it this week, next week, early October, or do you still somehow magically think that Nintendo's going to wait until 2025 to show us this thing? So make sure you share all your thoughts and feelings in the comments down below before you leave, regardless if we agree or disagree. Also make sure you like, subscribe, turn your notification bell. And with that, I've been Sunbro, you've been Nation. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.